What's good, family? What's good, my K squad? I am your girl, Kaylee the Boss. I'm the Boss Chick, and welcome to the corner. So, today we are going to get back to this BS. We on some BS today. We're going to talk about a few things, specifically in the relationship sector, because it happens. It's a part of life. We're going to travel down the road to the first heartbreak and how our journeys have led us to the fabulousness unbreakable now. So if you're on my YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Join in on the K Squad, especially if you are new. If you're returning and you never hit that like button or that subscribe button, go ahead and smash it now. But today we're going to go ahead and get into this. Before we get into this topic, I'm going to introduce my special guest for the evening, the Queen, Miss Tammaka Staley. So you guys give her a warm welcome and, just make her feel like the cousins that we are.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm fine. How are you this evening?
I am doing amazing. I'm excellent. I'm feeling a little tired because us boss chicks, we be out here grinding during the day and in the night.
We be bossing it.
So, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling divine. I'm feeling optimistic. And yes, it's Friday Junior, so I'm ready for the weekend.
Yes, I like that. Friday Junior, I love that.
Yes. Definitely glad to be here for sure.
Good. And we welcome you, and we're glad that you are here as well. Go ahead and tell the people who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Yes, so I am Tammaka Staley. I am a sex educator and spoken word artivist. Artivist is just artist plus activist. So, I put the two together, artivism. And what I do is I spit poems out loud sometimes in hopes that people will unlearn and relearn social norms, And I also, teach comprehensively colonized sex education workshops to 12 to 19-year-olds in my sex education organization called Yasè, Youth Affirming Sex Education. Yasè for short, LLC. It is a youth organization where I give parent sessions and digital content and workshops for teens and their parents, so that way they can have some tools to affirm themselves in their communities when it comes to sex and sexuality. So that's what I do. That's who I am. And yeah, y'all definitely could follow me at Yasè __ LLC. That's YASE 2 underscores LLC on Insta and on Facebook. I am there.
Yes, go ahead and hit that
all
plug.
Of that. Poetry wise, Talks with Tammaka. Talks with Tammaka is my poetry brand. Talks with Tammaka. So
I like that. And I think I follow all three of your Instas.
Yeah. I'll drop the other Insta later when we get into the adult. When we get into some real shit, we gonna get into some. Cause I got a personal page where I do adult sex ed content and stuff, but in relationship stuff. So we're gonna get into that later.
Disclaimer: this is for the adults, and if you're sensitive, please exit this video now. But let me just say, I fell in love with your vibe a couple years ago. I'd probably say maybe 2019. I saw one of your videos floating around.
Okay.
And I saw it constantly. So I'm like, let me look at this again. And I got deeper into it. I'm like, you know what? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pause and let me show the people a part of what caught my attention, if you don't mind.
I don't. Let's do it.
As if I just gained 20 more pounds, then I'll be good. And the bar says if I just gained 20 more pounds, then I'll be good. I hate you. Do you know how hard I tried to gain 20 more pounds? And sure, it's not my friend. Your comments isn't flattering.
Yeah.
It's only a reminder how I've never been the woman of any man's dreams. Because all black women's supposed to have a little cushion for them to push into, cup size, never full enough to quench their thirst for monogamy. or even remind them that I am still a woman. This body is only a representation. One I've always tried to change, but nothing ever worked for me. Not the patch, shakes, pills, prayers, or even plastic surgery I contemplated since age 13 in high school. Lunchtime was the worst part of my day. One time I stuffed my mouth so much I could feel vomit rise in my throat. If I didn't eat a lot, I'd be ridiculed until the bell rung, anorexic, giraffe necking. Girl, if you turned to the side, you'd probably disappear. Many days I wish I would have. Bombarded by a group of teachers with their eyes widened at the sight of my torso. They press their palms against my waist, scream in my face, oohs and ahs, clasp fingers around my wrist and ask me if I eat, instead of asking me, am I hungry? I have been starving for your acceptance.
Woo. That took me back.
That clip did it for me. And I'm like, who is this woman? Who is she? And I went searching because the actual video part that I saw, they didn't put your name. And me and my mom are always asking when we see certain clips, like, who are these people? Why don't they tag these people? Right. So I found another one, and you were commenting under the bottom, thanking people. So I added you. I'm like, this girl looks like she could be my friend. This looks like she could be sis. You know? You have such a way with words, and you're not afraid to use them, and I love it.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad that you found me that way. I love it. It's always dope getting like Facebook cousins, Insta cousins through the work. And that is, I think this moment and you saying that that's how you connect with me just proves how powerful words really are and how much they can make connections with people and build community. So I'm so glad to hear that. Yes.
So very true. So very true. And the fact that you spoke on body image, and your, I'm assuming it's a personal testimony of your, weight gain and, something that you were contemplating. My thing has been the opposite of weight loss all of my life. Like in high school, I know it played a part with how I interacted with certain people and how, just moving from high school to college, the body insecurities and just, the whole battle of becoming who I am now. I love every inch of me now, but I can't really say the same. Then.
Yes. That's a beautiful thing. It's such a wild thing to think about when you finally like know who you are for real, like you know who you is, and you look back like, damn, why was I doubting? Like, why was I? And we know why, because the world, the society that we live in just says, this is how a beautiful woman is supposed to look, and it doesn't have just one look. So I'm glad you have arrived. Yes.
Oh yes. You like it, you don't like it, just know I love it. Period. But yeah, that's definitely something I'll probably get into maybe next week, as far as finding oneself, another journey. So if you want to get in on that conversation, just let me know. But jumping into this main topic right here, let's play a little game called Take a Little Sip. I was telling you about it before we got on. I just found I found a little quiz, a little something when I was searching, and it says, take a sip if any of these has ever happened to you. So we'll do a quick little round.
Okay.
So I got my big old bottle of water since I'm over here on this little health kit
with the affirmations on it. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So the first one, take a sip if you have ever been ghosted before.
I could take a gulp. Ooh, child. A couple of sips.
Take a sip if you've heard, it's not you, it's me.
It's me. Yes. And you would think after so many, how played out that is, they would stop using that one. Because I'm like, no, it didn't make it no better. It didn't make it no better. Sorry.
You would think, but I guess it's classic, and some people like used it enough, I guess.
Right. It's the cliche of it all for me.
Take a sip if you've gotten dumped over a text message.
Dumped over a text message. No, I don't think I have. I'm usually the one doing the dumping, so I can't.
I'm gonna take another sip for an old school text message. The note, the passing, the note.
The note passing. Well, you know, I probably did. Well, maybe. Well, see, the thing about that is like I never actually had the relationship to begin with to even get dumped. So I would always get rejected just from the start. So yeah, that's my story. That's my story.
We'll look. I think we'll definitely touch bases on that.
Exactly.
Take a sip if I'm ready for a date, but then he called and canceled.
Yes. Mad as hell. I got cute, real cute too. Beat my face and everything. I'm still mad at that. I'm like, well, if you listening out there, you know who you are.
And last one. Oh, you heard her, buddy. You heard her. She's still mad about it.
I'm still listening.
All right, the last one. Take a sip if you checked your phone today for a text that never came.
You checked your phone for a text that never came? Oh, yes. That happened to me a couple of days ago, actually. Yeah. That's a common occurrence. It's a common occurrence. Especially that you up text, you get that moment.
It don't take much to say. It don't take much to say what you gotta say. Just say what you mean.
That's it. Like it could all be so simple. But
just a moment.
It's fine. Hey girl, hey.
They like to make it difficult sometimes. All right. So my first question for you is like, how do you define your breakup emotions? Like, fresh up out of you hear it, what emotions do you go straight to?
Yeah. Oh, so for me, I be sad. I really be sad. Like when I even if I'm the one to initiate it, it's still either way. I would say anger is the main one. Usually when I break up, at least in the past, and I haven't broken up with somebody in a while because I've been single for 3 years now. So, but I guess the breakup now is like telling somebody you don't want, like, because I'm dating. So there are times where I have to say I'm not interested no more. I don't want to talk no more. So that's like my breakup now that I'm doing. But as far as a relationship breakup, yeah, it always has been anger. That's usually the emotion that I feel after, because it's usually me breaking up. And I haven't had many relationships. I've had 2 official relationships, and I had 1 relationship that wasn't really official when I was in high school and in undergrad, and it was very dysfunctional. And so that was definitely an anger emotion once I finally. Exactly, the situationship that y'all just went with the flow and nobody asked questions about stuff, but then they get mad if you try to go be with somebody else. It's like, but you ain't never say that I was your girlfriend, though. And see, that's why I can't be playing with dudes, because they love to hit you with that we wasn't together. When it's come up, when it come up and come time for you to get some commitment, it was we wasn't together. But as soon as you try to go out with somebody else, or they want some sex, or they want something intimate, they want a nude, then we together all of a sudden now. You done been talking to me for 3-4 years consistently, having us doing all this relationship stuff, but we ain't together. So never again. I learned the hard way to ask questions and be specific about intentions up front. What do you want?
I labeled those.
Exactly.
That's the one. I labeled those types in one of my other lives, and that's the go with the flow. They're one. They don't want to the title, they definitely want of relationships. It's kind of so yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like,
I understand.
It's wild, but yeah, I would say anger is mostly
Definitely anger,
the feeling, but
betrayal.
sadness
Like,
too, though, because sometimes
it's
like, yeah, like the betrayal, but it's also like my last breakup was more of a sadness because it didn't end bad. It ended very cordially and good. It's just, we knew we wasn't compatible at that time. Like for the long run, we knew we had some issues that were clashing, and we would rather had saved the friendship and still be good people to each other, and we knew we couldn't be good people to each other being in a relationship. So that was really, it's hard when you still love somebody and then you care about them, but you know that you can't be with them, and you got to make that hard adult mature decision to say, let's just walk away. So yeah, I would say anger and sadness are like my main emotions when I'm breaking up. But when I'm like letting go of these dating, when I'm vetting and in my dating phase, like I am now, I don't be feeling nothing. I feel very content with my decisions. So I'm like, if I know what I want, I know what I don't want. Don't take me real long to figure it out. So, and because I don't like ghosting, I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to talk to you no more. So you don't expect me to hit you up no more. Yeah, that's no sweat off my brow. I don't have no feelings about it. I'm very indifferent about that. So
now this is a little off topic, but what have you ever had a situation where you said I don't want to talk to you anymore, but they still wanted to talk to you to still for you?
Say that one more time. They still wanted to do it. They wanted. You said they
still wanted to come for you. They still wanted to try to date you, and they were trying to convince you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That definitely has happened. That's happened quite a few times. Or it'll be like they say they don't want to talk to me for whatever reason. Like maybe I said something, or they find out that I'm polyamorous, and then they like, oh no, I can't do that. But then like a couple of days later, they wrap back around and still trying to have conversation, because I'm like, so you really is kind of curious, and you really don't want to not talk to me. But I guess I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's an ego thing. Like they got to feel some kind of dominance and to say that you don't want to talk to me for whatever reasons. I'm like, it's no sweat off my brow. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. But yeah, that's happened. Like I'd say that I don't want to talk to them, or they don't want to talk to me, but still just trying to come around. I'm like, no, you said you didn't want to talk to me, or I said I didn't want to talk to you. So I don't understand why you're here still. Like, you should not be on my line. And for me, I'm like, I'm so bad at blocking. It's not that I have a problem with it. I don't mind blocking people, but it's like it's just never my first thought. Like when I stop talking to somebody, it's just never my first thought to block them. I guess because I just be so content with like making a clear decision about whether I want to deal with you or not. It does never cross my mind to just block you. I don't know why. And I think a lot of times it's because I come so mature with ending things and making a formal ending and a formal terminations and stuff, that in my mind, I be thinking that people are going to do the same and just like not hit me up no more. But obviously we know that doesn't happen, especially when you're dealing with men. I'm like, niggas just don't be getting it. Like, so sometimes you got to press, they got to go to the block party. Like, congrats. Yes. You got an invitation to the block party. Live it up. Okay. Live it up.
Facts.
It's wild.
Like you have really offend me to get in that block zone. Like you got to be doing the most. Like sometimes I don't like to be bothered. So if you doing a little bit too much, you will get blocked. But that's like you said, it's not the first thing that you think of. Like I said what I said, accept it or you don't.
But either way, you won't be here
for the two serious relationships that you mentioned. Like, facts. For the two serious relationships that you've had, do you have like a particular breakup cycle of emotions or activities that you do? Like, have you noticed that, like, hey, I did the same things like immediately after this happened?
Yeah. Cry. That's usually like I have to like purge, so that's definitely one thing. But I also noticed that I get cry. Definitely, I be ugly crying. boo-hoo it. It's not like all out the eyes, everything. But also I purge. So I purge in that way. I'm telling you, it's real nasty. So I purge in that way, but I also purge physically. Like I get rid of tangible things that remind me of the person. But it also takes a while for me to do that. So that's a pattern that I notice about myself. Like I'll get rid of stuff so that way it won't remind me of the person anymore. If I had bad memories of them. If I had good memories, I still might get rid of some stuff just because I'm not in the space in a relationship. Like if it's something that was specific to the relationship, I'll get rid of it. Even if I'm still very, very tight with one of my exes, and we're really close friends still. But I had to get rid of some of the relationship mementos just because I wanted to be very clear in my mind, body, and spirit that this is over, and that chapter is done. So I do think purging, crying, getting rid of little mementos that remind me of the person. I do that. I definitely have me a drink. I always get me my good old cab. Cab is bae. My good old Cabernet be right here with me. When I go through a breakup, I go out with my friends. I notice I always literally in the next coming days after that. Well, I didn't. Yeah, I always do. I always go out. I always end up out somewhere with friends. Even if it wasn't in the best of spirits, I was out with my friends and surrounded by people that I love. We eating, we having a good time. So yeah, those are the 3 things that I noticed that I do, because I try to throw myself into other things. Like I do give myself time to grieve and process, but I still like to throw myself back into my normal pace of life, and kind of just deal with the emotions of the breakup as I'm still going through with my regular life. So yeah, for sure.
And I think that's healthy. That's very healthy, especially after you have been attached to somebody and you've given a lot of stuff. So bring it, to you, and it's taking your mind off it and giving more to yourself. I think I do that as well. So, yeah, the crying is inevitable. The ugly cry is definitely inevitable. And I have very bad sinuses, so I'll get stuffed up after just crying so much, sounding real raspy because I'm crying so much.
Raspy Houston up in here. That's all I'm saying.
And then I'm off in something new, like this last I ended up moving furniture in the middle of the night, trying to get into a new exercise routine, trying to pick up something new, do something different that maybe that person has been stopping me from doing, not telling me what to do, but just the give and take, just kind of just pouring back into me. So I definitely feel you with trying to be about yourself once it's over, and put your shoes on and keep going. That's how it goes.
Walking, yes, got to.
Yes. I'll let you go first. If your first go.
Your first breakup, first heartache
story.
Oh, okay. I know this. This is very vivid. Okay, first heartache. Yes. I was a teen. I think I want to say 13. Yeah, I was 13. I was 14. Because I was just about to go to 9th grade. Well, actually, no, I was in 8th grade at the time. Yeah, I was in 8th grade at the time. Oh, getting the ages mixed up. I was in 8th grade. I met this guy at the skating ring. And where are you based at? City, state?
I'm in Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay, so I feel like skating is probably pretty popular there, right?
The Delta, Mississippi Delta.
Yeah. So I feel like that's like that in a lot of southern places. So here in Columbia, like if you're from here, Red Ring Rollaway was our mecca. Like that was the skate mecca. You go there, like every black team around went to Red Wing. So yeah, that was my spot, and I skated.
It was Roller World for us.
Roller World, okay, yep. So and then in Atlanta they got Cascade and some other places. Charlotte has a skate scene. I'm in West Columbia now, living here, and we have 3 fountains. So that's like our new Red Wing because they shut down Red Wing. So yeah, that's where I go now when I go skating. I haven't been in since the pandemic, but I love to skate. Like it's a really big pastime of mine. So yeah, met this guy. He was older than me, and that's always been a pattern for me to dating and dealing with older guys, which it was cool at the time, but like now being an adult woman and looking back, it was very inappropriate. I shouldn't have no business dating guys that older, even in like my early 20s. It was very predatory at some point. Me knowing what I know about how older men like kind of graze on young women. But okay, whole nother conversation. But yeah, he was a little bit older than me. I think he might, not much, but I was 13. I think he might have been maybe 17, you know. So yeah, and I just thought he was the finest thing in the world. Like I was like, oh, he cute or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I think we might have talked and like, but it's so wild because we never actually said that we was in a relationship and together, but we was together. See, that whole go with the flow mess, you know, it was that. But like I said, he was older, and at some point he turned 18. I was 14. And you know, there was a lot of talk about like what marriage and kids would look like at some point. So it got very intense, and I just was not used to that. I never been the girl that was sought after by boys when I was growing up, and I never was interested in boys like that. Like I knew like I would like them, or that I think this boy is cute, but I never had no type of like serious connection to boys in my girlhood before that time, and I never actually been sought after by boys. That just was not my story. But yeah, so I just, he caught my eye, he approached me, we talked, you know what I mean? So I would see him at a skate ring every Saturday. So that whole, I think this kind of situationship and seeing him here and there went on for maybe about a year or two, maybe about a year or two. And I just started noticing patterns like that was very toxic and very abuse, like emotional abuse, emotional manipulation, things of course I didn't have language for at the time that I do know now. But yeah, it was a lot of that. And I just had to like let it go, but I didn't know how, and I couldn't talk to nobody about it because I wasn't supposed to be dating and like being with boys like that. And yeah, so like he had a car and stuff too, and it's just I could not talk to anybody about that. Exactly. So it was a lot, and I think he actually ended up ending it with me because I didn't want to like actually be more than what we were, like actually make it official, a relationship official, and just commit, like just solely commit to him and him only. Like, so yeah, that's what ended it. And it broke my heart because I was like, this is somebody I kind of wanted to grow deeper in love and just but still be kids, like, because I'm 14, I'm 13, like I can't, I think that it was talks about him going to the military.
Right.
So he was like already in a way different place in his life than I was, and I knew I couldn't do that and be going places with him, and I'm like, I ain't even supposed to be talking to you. Where am I going? Right. Like I already was sneaking and seeing you. Like when I would go to the movies, I'm telling my mom I'm going to the movies with my friends, and they'll be around some way, but I wasn't really going in the movie with them. I'm going with you. I'm out here with your ass, lying and sneaking around and stuff. So yeah, and I just know I just could not do that, and that's one thing, because I did not want to go against my parents. Like I might have did some little sneaky stuff, but I ain't push it too far. I went like going out of town with you. I wasn't doing them big of a lies. So I was like, no, I'm scared to death to go against my parents. So right. I am not doing that. I ain't play that. Della Staley ain't play that. George Staley ain't play that. So I was like, yeah. So he ended it with me. And I remember a specific moment that really really just hurt me, because I remember him threatening to kill himself if I wasn't, because I didn't want to be with him. Like, because I told him no, that we could not be together in that way. And, yeah. And I realize now how messed up that was, how emotionally manipulative and abusive that was. But yeah, it was very hurtful. And yeah, it took me a while to kind of get past that. And it's so wild because we stopped talking maybe probably all my high school years, and then I reconnected with him maybe my senior year of high school, or maybe when I graduated. So we still kept in communication. It was one of those things where I never like completely stopped talking to him. Well, for those years, just because I always had that special place in my heart. So I think we kind of like met up one day and talked and resolved all those issues and tried to see if maybe we could have something now that we're both like, I'm older, he's older, but that it didn't work out. Yeah, so that's my
oh my goodness,
my heartbreak story. Yeah, it was wild. It was pretty
baby,
wild.
that sounds like a good teen novel.
Oh, child, yeah. Well, I got some stories now. The stuff that I was, and it's so weird I experienced so much like that, because I'm like, I wasn't even having sex. I'm like, because and I don't even think I actually have told anybody this story but y'all. So y'all the first ones. But when I think about this story, I can only imagine like hearing my friends say, well, dang, tell me, what did you do? Like, I'm like, I ain't did nothing. Like, so I can only imagine if sex was involved, who knows what the hell would happen, So I just remember being very scared in that moment, hearing somebody talk like that, because they said no. So yeah, I think that was one of my first experiences also with consent, or like having my consent violated.
Definitely.
And, knowing what that meant and what that looked like. At the time, of course, I didn't have language for that. And I just know it felt bad. It just didn't sit right in my body, how that was showing up. So yeah. 10 years was a wild time, y'all.
So yeah, it's a little bit of narcissism as well.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of narcissism trying to mind control you.
Big time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can agree with you on the front where you said, you didn't want to go against, your parents' rules and things like that, because that was very much me. High school, I had no thought of really trying to get involved with anybody. Of course, it was certain people that would try to, ask you out and things like that. But my mom had told me, she was like, nah, you can't date until you're about 16. I got to 16 and I was like, yo, Mom, is it time for, me to, date? And she was like, well, I think you should wait until you become an adult. So I asked no more questions. That's not even something that I wanted to revisit, because I didn't want the wrath of Doris Dean to come at me for even trying to question her authority. But like I said, stuff does happen. The first heartbreak it wasn't necessarily real. So I have a story time about this. I just on that, but the most like being really having that attention, questioning whether people really like me for me, or I'm as you can see, I'm a little top heavy. So my entire high school years, I wore a jacket because I didn't want that attention.
Yeah.
Because the jokes of the jokes of not having enough bottom, things like that. So I was just very sheltered, a little protected. Then you get to college, you explore a few things and try to find some people to validate, and I found myself becoming really, really numb to the point where there was no connection with any of the people that I was talking to and dealing with, until I met one. We had music in common. So I met him around my junior year in college. And we had music in common. We had very stimulating conversations. We had a lot of things in common as far as we like to talk about astrology, design, clothing, just our love for family. He was a dreamer. I'm a big dreamer. We were vibing. He was a Cancer. I'm a Cancer.
Oh,
so I'm like,
child. Yeah, no Cancer. And you know what? The guy, that I was just talking about, he was a cancer. He's a cancer too. Yes, them damn cancers, I tell you. And I'm a water sign myself. I'm a Scorpio, so it's like that already was just. I mean, and actually, that's one of my most compatible signs. But it's just so much intensity.
Yeah.
Like we can't both be this level of drama, and your level of drama is like exceeding my level of drama on some. This is cancer.
I was just about to say that the male cancers are a whole different breed. So when people say cancers, put them niggas over there by themselves.
In this little batch right here. Please. Can't deal. I can't deal.
But yes, ma'am. I felt like I was being seen for the first time. Like I said, he was a dreamer. I was a dreamer. We were vibing. Never had any major argument about anything. Let's say we were maybe working on a song together. That's about the biggest of an argument that we ever had prior to the downfall of us. So this week for me, I'm bringing it back present, has been the hardest for me this year and my family, because my grandma's birthday was Sunday. So when I told you Wednesday that I was having a little bit of a rough day a couple days before, this week is heavy because my grandma's birthday is Sunday. I had an aunt's birthday that was Tuesday. And then I have another aunt, her birthday is tomorrow, and they've all passed. And the one's birthday is tomorrow. She just passed in 2017. They've been very instrumental to my life. And this retrograde is really getting to me. So at that time when me and him were just kind of, getting to know each other and vibing with each other, my grandma passed away at the end of my junior year, going into my senior year. And I would say I cried once during that entire time, and that was on the day that they told us to come to the hospital because she has passed. After that, I told my cousin to drop me off where he was so that I could, just take my mind off it. But I cried specifically with him. I didn't cry the day of the funeral. I didn't cry at the wake. I didn't cry after just being in this, and I'm still in the house. So being in this house, around everything, I didn't cry. And I feel like I still haven't grieved properly, but that was the only day that I cried. I was very, very vulnerable with him, and he let me. He let me cry. He, wiped my tears away. We sat in silence, and I feel like that bonded us. It brought us a little bit closer. Like if we were thinking about not even making anything official, that moment probably solidified everything for us at that point. Right. So fast forward, I graduated college, and I'm thinking, it's go time. It's go time. Like when you about to graduate, you got goals. Like I'm gonna do this when I grow up.
Yep. All of it.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be in this. I'm going to a specific job. So again, it's go. Like everything that I have been planning my whole 4 years for, it's time to go get it. So I decided to leave, and it wasn't even that far, but it was time for me to step out on my own. The way I had to maneuver, I had about 3 jobs. I had 3 jobs at one time. So it was hard for me to kind of get back like I was, I probably should have. Yeah, it took 11 months before I can get back and actually, see him face to face. Wow. But I could do it financially and be sound and not have to worry about anything while I'm gone or whatever. So after that, I could tell kind of like the communication was getting a little tension, a little scarce. And in the process, his grandmother passed away. So I'm asking questions like, how can I be there for you in the way that you were there for me?
Yeah.
And his reaction was to push. His was to push and nah, I'm good. Communication was very, very, very scarce. And like I said, doing what you did for me, especially when mine passed away, I wanted to do the same because I had never had that type of, love language shown to me, because that's what I give. I've never had anybody to do that for me, even with the little sneaky links that I did have private too. I couldn't even get one of them to come check a strange person coming around when I was working as a desk assistant. So stuff like that. Stuff
and
like
them
that.
Sneaky links, boy. Them sneaky links be having a hold on you sometimes. Them sneaky links.
It happens. It definitely happens.
And it does.
But yeah, our communication just became non-existent, and I saw that he was making plans with family, going to different places, making, like I said, I'm about maybe 3 hours away, 2.5 hours away from him or something like that. And he's making trips to Florida, Missouri, just doing this and that. And I'm like, I ain't even get a, can I come see you? At least come see you if you can't come see me, that type of thing. And I will say at that point in time, because of the situation and how it went when I moved in that year, my mom did end up having to come with me for a little bit, and he was frightened of her. So shout out to y'all men who are afraid of parents. That's respect.
Don't try nothing.
I love it. I love it. He got away easy because my granddad was bad with that. He had a gun waiting for you, cleaning that gun. He caught me at a time when my dad was kind of going down a little bit, so he got it easy. He got all he did was get talked about.
And that's the bare minimum. That's the least of your words.
I'm telling you, but it's my mom. If you can impress my mom and let her know that her baby is safe, then you good in my book. Like I said, he was frightened of my mom, probably still frightened of her to this day. Fast forward, I ended up leaving where I was to come back home, which is closer to him. So I came back. By that time, the damage was done. The communication barrier was, it was back up. We were having communication issues. Sometimes he would snap at me, and not even just like a totally rude, a-hole move, but more so like I'm being annoying, or every opinion that I had was wrong or trivial or something like that. Our first official argument was when Solange whooped Jay-Z in the elevator.
Classic.
All because I made a status. I made a status saying, yeah, I'm that little sis who gonna get somebody right if they doing my sister wrong or something like that. And he's like, you don't even know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. She just drunk and crazy a little bit. That's it. Belligerent. And I'm like, we're gonna argue anything. This is what we're gonna argue about. You really want to have an argument because he's a Jay-Z stan. He's a Jay-Z stan. Like, exactly. This what we want to argue about.
Right.
So, and then
like, are you on the Jay-Z stan payroll?
Are
you on the Jay-Z stan payroll or not? Like, that's all I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Let me know, cause we flights. Let me know.
Thanks.
Girl, I was getting called out for being tagged in posts. My friend girl, she made a post saying hanging out with this person, Kaylee, and this person, and he's like, you hanging with dudes, and I'm like, if there's not a third or fourth or fifth person over here, and you could be here too, but you don't feel like it. That's what you said. That's what you said. You're getting because you see one name or two, and then he's like, I'm starting to see like stuff that I normally do, like I'm posting little heart eyes under Instagram pictures or tweets and things like that, and they're getting deleted. Tell me what's up. So everything was becoming real nitpicky. Everything. I'd invite to to come kick it with my other side of the family that he had met before. I'd asked to come to like wedding receptions and graduations and things like that. Then it happened. That moment happened. It happened after my little brother's graduation from high school. I sent a little playful message trying to recreate the moment that we first met, and he comes back with, "I can't do this no more."
Excuse me, what?
That's it. I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more.
Wow.
So of course it got really emotional. You know, I didn't want to believe my eyes. I didn't want to believe my ears. I wanted some clarity. I wanted that, like, and couldn't or wouldn't. It was just like wonderful. It is me. You know, that's not you. It's me. I need to get my together.
Wow.
But this the kicker. 2 months later, he's pictured with another girl. All over his IG. Now, and I told you we had music. Music was our thing. Concert was on my bucket list because I had never been to one at that point in time.
Yeah.
This man, now this nigga is at the Run the World tour, Beyonce and Jay-Z with this other girl.
Oh. So you basically took you used my ticket to take somebody to a concert. That's basically what he did. That's basically. Okay. I see how we do.
Or however it happened, because he came up with some. I don't like when they answer a question on the opposite thing of what you ask, and I'm like, you giving me too much information and not enough of what I asked for. But okay, and you know, as women, we go lurking. We try to find, you know, the point of a detour or whatever. So I'm searching, and I see this same person. This same person has been present for about a year or so on Twitter. So the entire time that I was away, or almost the entire time that I was away, they were in connection, tweeting each other back and forth playfully, and I missed all of it. Not only that, you know, going through my sad emotions, I come to see, like, you know, some of the stuff that I may have been tweeting about, she was tweeting back at me. She was subliminally tweeting me.
Oh no.
The entire time.
Tacky.
And I didn't even know. Say it again. Now, Itty Bitty Piggy, you know, Nicki Minaj's Itty Bitty Piggy, it was out probably 08, 09, something like that.
Yeah.
This was the year 2014. So, baby, you couldn't have been talking about relevancy. You was talking to me. You were. It's me. Give it up. I win. You lose. You were talking to me. So that hurt me to the core, because I never expected that person to do me that way, come at me with those, you know, trying to point the finger, and they're doing the exact same thing that they're trying to accuse me of. You know, like the history, and you go and do that. Was my mom never cried over like. And it's worst feeling to see seeing that your mom is strong, and she's seeing you in this weak spot. But of course, she understands. But so that moment definitely, it changed me. I'm not gonna, of course, it's plenty more that I had to go through, because I'll say that I was very naive coming out of high school, going into college. I was very naive. But it has taken a long road to get to the person that I am now.
Definitely. That is, well, thank you for sharing that story and being so vulnerable with us, because that's a lot. And to come out of that being who you are, like that's a strength and a win in and of itself. So, you know, his loss.
His loss. Oh yeah. We tried to, that's another story, but we tried to revisit, but we're two different people now.
Yep. I ain't who you thought I was. I'm a whole new person now. I ain't that girl no more. I ain't that chick. I ain't that chick.
To
Mm.
what you saw in the beginning. So, yeah.
But say that one more time. I was breaking up a little bit.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I was holding on to the charming person from the beginning, and he was probably holding on to the naive person from the beginning.
Yeah.
So a lot of my thoughts
That's
at that time, I was writing them down. My breakup cycle went from sad, angry to revenge. Like I was writing some of everything. So this next music that I got coming out is called the X-Files. Ooh,
yeah.
boy, y'all get ready for that one, because it's time it's time to release on that.
X-Files.
Something broke in me that year, and somebody else came out. Somebody else came out.
We love to see it. We love to see it. Yes.
So, from all the things that you have encountered, what have you learned and taken into your new journeys as far as relationship and how you move?
Yeah, so I have taken into account that I need to continue to be vocal and direct and specific about what I want, what my intentions are. I've learned that other people's perception of me is not my responsibility to an extent, and their desire or lack thereof is not my responsibility and has nothing to do with me. I'm just gonna be my authentic self, and if that's not enough for them, then they have the choice to go. And I also have learned that I'm only allowing and accepting, things that align with my purpose and my worth. I'm not going to accept anything less than what I require, whatever my standards are, whatever my requirements are, whatever my expectations are. I'm not going to settle for them not being met. I want all of my needs and desires met, whether that's like spiritually, physically, sexually. I want them all to be met, honored, and valued. Like, period. That's it. It's no compromising when it comes to that, because I deserve, just simply because I exist, not because of the labor that I give, not because of, only what I could do for a partner in a partnership, but because I exist, and I learned that when that person can meet my needs and my desires and value them, then I'm gonna do the same. And I know that I can do that so well, and I got so much love to give that's gonna, I'm gonna love you down, so you ain't gotta worry about that. And so if I'm gonna give 110 and love you down, I'm only gonna accept the best and even more from you. So yeah, those are my lessons that I've learned. I didn't consider any of those experiences losses. The L is for lucrative, as our Lord and Savior Sukiana the GOAT said. L is for lucrative. So we gonna make all the things that we went through that didn't cause us pain. We gonna make them into a lucrative moment by learning and bossing up and moving forward. So I'm just healing, and yes, I'm healing and exuding my divinity. I've stepped into my divinity. I know who I am. I know what I deserve, and I'm only going to accept that and that only, and whoever can be with me in that space, I'm going to lean into them. If you can be with me in that space and you really can go there with me, I'm going to lean into that. So, yeah. For sure.
I knew we could vibe for a reason, because
yes,
I feel the exact same way. I do. Like I said, it took me a while to get to this point of who I am, and trying to get away from being okay with what people give me.
Yes.
Like, I would have to say that being a giver, I am a giver. Like, I give from the bottom of my heart, and I'll let other people make decisions. Well, I used to let them make the decisions on how far or how fast things go. So I'm learning to respect me, appreciate me, and do for me. So everything that I provide for myself, I expect you to do the same. Everything that I provide for you, I expect that to come back tenfold. Like you said,
Yes.
if you show me, you know, what you're bringing, I don't even want to say the bringing to the table thing because I'm so sick of
Yeah.
hearing that. But if you can show that respect, the attention, the care, all of that, I'm going to pour into you. Pour into me, and I'm going to pour into you. And
Yep.
that's all I can, just expect going forward. But first it comes from me, because if I don't
Yeah.
respect me or love me, they won't either. And they will sense that and pick up on, well, I can get away with this. No, it's not flying any longer.
Nope. Not at all.
Point blank, period.
Pause. Chick. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
Like I just feel so full. I feel so full.
Definitely. Definitely. So moving forward, and on your personal and business journey, what are you taking going forward? What do we have to expect from Miss Staley going forward, and all of your gloriousness?
Yes. So the biggest thing going forward, you can expect to see me doing some touring with my organization. Yasè. I plan on doing like a 20-city tour next year, whether it's virtual or in person, providing comprehensive decolonized sex education workshops to young people. So you may see me in a city near you providing some workshops, and hopefully some free workshops, because we manifesting this funding, because I wanted to be free to the people, but it ain't actually free. So we and it's coming. Abundance is en route, that we can get enough for me to travel and curate this program and to provide it to our young people across the nation. So yeah, that is what you have to look forward to. You also have to look forward to seeing me perform at different events. I got some stuff coming up, and if you'd like to book me, you can book me, so you will have something to look forward to, because if you book me, then we all got something to look forward to. So yeah, but that is the biggest thing with my organization.
Yeah.
So just be on the look. And for my book, my poetry book will be it will be out. I ain't gonna say when, but it's coming. I'm working on it. I am in the process of writing my book. What's mine to carry. So I am in the process of writing, and I hope to be having it delivered to y'all some maybe around this time next year. Yeah, I'm that's what I'm aiming for. So yeah, you will see my first book out sooner than later. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I'm looking forward to all of that. Any way that I can support, just let me know. We can definitely
I
link up
will.
on this whole marketing thing.
Yeah.
Let me help
Definitely.
you. Let me help
I
you.
appreciate it. I receive it.
And
I receive
that's
it.
what it's about. We're gonna manifest these goals and these dreams. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am, we are. So let the people know where they can find you. We didn't get quite into the other part, but please go ahead and drop the other IG, because you will be returning, so that we can have some more of these kikis and these talks. You will.
Yes.
I'm speaking that
So
into existence.
yes, me too. And I would definitely love to come back. So my personal page on IG and Facebook is SexfirmationGoddess. I am the SexfirmationGoddess. So that's like all my dope content with sex and sexuality. And you could be looking forward to some stuff with that too. I have a project that I'll be dropping pretty soon, and some merch. I want to say by the end of the year. So yeah, just if you follow me on at the SexfirmationGoddess, and I put it in the chat at like affirmation, but just take away the A and put SexfirmationGoddess on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm also on TikTok and Twitter at SexfirmationGoddess. I'm not active on TikTok or Twitter yet, but I have some content there, but I'm getting more active on both. So yeah, you can follow me at SexfirmationGoddess. You can follow me at Talks with Tammaka for anything poetry related, from my poetry brand, Talks with Tammaka. And then for my youth organization is Yasè LLC. So YASE LLC. You should find that on Instagram and Facebook. Yep.
Yes, and there we go. There you have it, you guys. She will be coming back. No worries. We're speaking into it in existence. But this has been our segment of our first Heartbreaks, heartaches and things that we have learned to become the bosses that you see today. Aren't we fabulous? Aren't we unbreakable at this point? You guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any topics that you want to discuss, anytime you want to come on and be a guest, hit that email below. It's scrolling by, kaylee.baent@gmail.com. Remember, guys, I love you, and tell me how you bossing. We're going to see y'all in the next video, and you guys have a good evening.
All right, y'all.